Hello, it's Jacqueline. It's Thursday. It's cooking time, and we are just around the corner from a really big party. And I'm so excited because Grey Cup is here this weekend. Welcome, Linda. So I am getting all my fun stuff out for Grey Cup. Now, some of you are Americans. Grey Cup is like our Super Bowl. And we go crazy up here. Well, at least I do. And I'm heading into Vancouver on the weekend. And of course, I've got a penthouse room booked with my cousin. And we're having a little soiree there. And so I need to make some food that I can pack in the car, that I can heat up, and that we can entertain the night before our big party. So I'm gonna give you some fun food facts, but let's start talking about what we're gonna make today. And what I'm gonna do today, as you always know, we always think out of the package or the box or the jar, creating different things. And this is our cheeseburger pasta. So you could be making a one-pot pasta with this, but today we're going to be using this to make a dip. And I want to give a huge shout out to Nicole Sturgis. She's this rock star ambassador down in the United States, and she came up with a recipe called bacon cheeseburger dip. So Nicole, I already know, I've talked to some people, they've already made it. It's so delicious. So if you've got the cheeseburger pasta, this could be something that you can make. I do also want to let you know that you can order these. They're usually sold in packages of 3, but we do have build your own bundle, and a lot of ambassadors and customers are not aware that you can pick and choose up to 5 or 7 savory items and create your own little bundle for yourself. So if you wanted to just get one of these or a couple of these, you could totally do that. Welcome Sonia and Allison and Stephanie. So let's get started making this great dip. So the first thing it says is we're going to be using our multi-purpose steamer. So we also call this our purple people feeder. And what I love about it is the capacity. It's like 14 cups. It's got a lid, it's vented, nothing sticks to it. And when you purchase it, it also comes with this tray. Now this tray is gonna be really good because I did say the recipe had bacon in it. And so I've got some slices of bacon in here. And the directions, I always change the recipe. Always. So I was looking at this going, why am I cooking it and then cooking it? So I'm going to show you how you can do this super slick. You don't always have to follow the recipe, and that's the great thing about Epicure is we can make cooking so darn easy. Even if you don't follow instructions, it's going to work out and it's going to taste delicious. So what I have in here is ground chicken. Now you can use ground beef, you could use pork, you could use turkey, and because we're going to cook this, and the instructions say we're going to cook this in the microwave for 3 to 5 minutes, and then item number 2 says we're going to cook this for 4 to 6 minutes. Why not just cook them both at the same time? So I'm going to drop this in, and this is what's so cool about it. When you make your bacon, I don't know if you fry it on the stove or if you bake it in the oven, but it splatters. There's a lot of fat in that. So by containing it in here, the fat is going to drip down. It's going to flavor my chicken, which is nice because ground chicken breasts are a little dry. But that being said, we're going to strain it off. It's just going to get some great flavor. So let's put this in the microwave. I'm going to say probably about 6 minutes because I'm doing both together. So let's get that started. So how many of you have tried our cheeseburger pasta dip? Have you tried it yet? It's delicious. This is a favorite recipe for families. It's such a quick meal. I don't know anyone that hasn't fallen in love with it. I know when I introduced it to my next door neighbor here, she has a number of grandchildren. And I said to her, don't just buy 1 package of 3. You're gonna go through it. Buy 2 sets of 3. You're gonna have, of course, kids, once they taste it, they'll love it. It's great to have leftovers, but I'm gonna tell you, if you just make 1 package, it's gonna be gobbled up. So you need to have, in my opinion, at least 2 sets of 3. So the instructions, now again, changing the recipe, excuse me, changing the recipe, it does say that I can put it in a steamer, and you can see that it's actually featured in a steamer here. But I am entertaining. I'm having guests over, so I wanted to put it in some sort of ceramic dish that is going to look nice and I can transport it. So I've actually got a fluted pie plate, but if you had a casserole dish, that would work as well. So while that's just getting done, we will put in some softened cream cheese. We will open up our package, and these are our Prep Pro scissors. Hi, Kay and Brenda, and we've got a number of you watching today. It's nice. Have you made this dip yet? So we're gonna drop that in. And let's talk about some fun food facts. I'm gonna talk about tomatoes here, and I actually am in Canada, but when I was reading this recipe, and as I mentioned earlier, Nicole is from the States. And in the United States, how many of you are American? Let me know who's American. You have a tomato product, and we can get it up in Canada. It's just not readily easy to find, and it's called Rotel. Are you familiar with Rotel? I see we've got someone, Stephanie from Quebec. Bonjour. So anyway, I said to my assistant, she looks at me and she says, Rotel, what's Rotel? So here's my fun food fact for Rotel. So Rotel was actually, goes back to 1943. That's a long time ago. There was a husband and wife. His name was Carl Rotelli, I believe is how you said his name, but it was a little complicated. Anyway, he and his wife had a processing plant just on the outskirts of San Antonio, Houston, Dallas area. And of course they grew tomatoes down there, and he thought it would be very, very great, smart actually, to use these vine ripened tomatoes that he was growing and put them with green chilies. So Rotel is vine ripened tomatoes chopped, so they're diced, with green chilies in them. A lot of you probably, if you're from the States, a lot of people mix Rotel with cheese whiz or Velveeta cheese. It's just really flavorful. So now in Canada, you might not be able to find Rotel at your grocery store. I live in a little small town of about 5,000 people. It's not something that I'm gonna find here. But if you wanted to get the flavor of Rotel, what you could do is just get any can of diced tomatoes, and you could put in our poco picante salsa, like just for a little bit of heat. Or if you really wanted to, but who really does, you could chop up green peppers, like jalapeno pepper. Of course, make sure you don't touch your eyes, right? You don't want to have any big problems with that. But it's a way that you can get some heat into this. So otherwise, it's not a zippy one. And your kids might like it better in the fact that it doesn't have the green chilies in. I'm a spice girl. I'm gonna love having lots of flavor. So, like I said, if you want, throw in some poco picante salsa. The other way that you can pump this up a bit is you can get grated cheese. And as you saw, I threw in 2 cups of grated cheese. And in the store, you can get like Tex-Mex kind of grated cheese or Mexican kind of cheese. Any cheese that's grated will work in here. You don't need to have Tex-Mex if you want to use just cheddar or mozzarella or a combination of. What do you have in the fridge? What's on sale? You know, I'm always trying to save you folks some money. Okay, so we've got our flavor pack. We're about 1 minute away from being able to pull that out and take a look and make sure everything's sort of cooked up properly. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bake this in the oven for a bit. And we're going to have this nice dip. Now, as you know, our Epicure products are really low on sodium. In fact, some of our products don't even have any sodium. So what you could put in is our SPG, which stands for salt, pepper, garlic. So this will give you a nice flavor as well. And of course, I really think anything that you cook should have garlic in it. Now, of course, you're not going to do that if you've got intolerances to garlic, which unfortunately some people really do. So we've got this all mixed up. So let's read the instructions as they're written. So it says, in a multi-purpose steamer, add your ground beef, cover it, microwave it 3 to 5 minutes until it's cooked. We're going to make sure it's chopped up before we actually do that. And I just realized my chopper is in the drawer. I'm going to have to run over there and get it. And we're going to actually stir this up and bake it in the oven for 10 to 12 minutes and then put on our cheeseburger stuff. So let me pull this out. Let's take a look at what we've got here. I'll slide this over. And I always say, put the steam vents away from you because it has been in the heat for 6 minutes. Okay, so I can see my bacon needs a little bit more time, but my chicken is cooking well. And can you see the liquid in there? Okay, so we are going to want to strain that. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Give me a second. Let me pull these out. I'm just going to run over to the sink. The easiest way to strain this is to actually just sort of clamp it on the side like this, and you're going to be able to strain it, and we're going to chop it up. So give me a quick second. I'm just going to run to the sink and do that, and I'm also going to get my meat separator. I'll be right back. Chat with each other for a quick second because we're going to talk about football next. Coming back. Where's my chopper? I probably threw it in the dishwasher. Oh goodness. I was not prepared. I guess I got sidetracked. Okay, anyway, not using my chopper for now. I'm just going to use which doesn't work nearly as nice as my meat separator. So make sure, seeing I'm not forecasting or showcasing it, I should say. Make sure you go into the catalog and take a look at the meat separator because I'm going to tell you, this is awkward and not working well. That chopper would have been so much better, but I know I made the best ever chili yesterday when my son was here. And sometimes when people help me in the kitchen, they put things away where they're usually not supposed to be, so I can never find them. So we've got some rough chop on that. I'm just going to stick this back in. We're just going to cook it a little bit more. And I'm going to start talking about some fun stuff about football, which I love. Okay, so what can I tell you about football? Okay, so for those of you who, and I've got Bernice, my mom's watching as well. So for those of you who don't know about football, there is a real good link. And I don't know if you noticed, I've got gold fingers. It might tell you what team I may be playing or cheering on. I also am wearing blue and a little bit of gold in my top. So I may be cheering for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Yes, Deb, that's homage to you. Yay, Bombers. So the party, the actual Grey Cup party goes back to, I wrote it down, 1948. And we can give a huge hurrah to the Calgary Stampeders because there were hundreds of fans that went into Toronto in 1948 because the Stampeders were playing that year. And that was the beginning of the big Grey Cup parties. And this is one of the reasons why we're making this today. So it's huge fun. In fact, Wikipedia, if you actually go on and type in, tell me a little bit about, Canadian Grey Cup, is going to tell you, what do they call it? It's a national drunk party. It's like, wow, that's really fun. But yes, a lot of people drink alcohol and a lot of people eat a lot of really good food, which brings me to tailgating, which is a really popular thing, but mostly in the United States and Canada. And that's where people actually have food parties, usually grilling and alcohol, and the backs of their vehicles, usually pickup trucks, right? Which is why they call it a tailgate party. I had the honor of being invited to a tailgate party. My girlfriend and associate, amazing Deborah Spears, invited me with her family to have a Grey Cup party in Winnipeg. Oh my goodness, those guys are crazy fun, but it is so cold. I wish, and one of the reasons I'm liking going to Vancouver is an indoor arena. Sometimes you're out in the freezing cold. I can never figure out, who can help me with this? Why do we have football played until November? And it doesn't even start till midsummer. Can we not somehow figure out how hockey can sort of end earlier in the spring instead of going right into summer, and somehow just time shift this? I mean, I could get really grumpy about this because let's face it, I don't even like time changes. So if they're gonna, maybe not move the clocks back and forth, maybe at the same time they can try to figure out hockey and football so that we can actually watch things when it's appropriate. Who agrees with me? Okay, so let me get back to this. Just check it here. Okay, yes, this looks much better. Okay, so here we have our bacon, and what we're going to do is we've got our meat that we've chopped up already. We'll drop this in here. We're going to mix that up. And we're also going to chop up our bacon. We're going to save a little bit so we can have some on top. But if you forget, and notice how much this bacon shrunk. Yes, that's because of all the fat, which was in the bottom of that chicken. But if you want to have all this flavor in there, what you could do, and for those of you who don't want to have bacon for whatever reason, like really, you could use turkey bacon, chicken bacon, or you can put our fabulous Better Than Bacon product on here. So sprinkle it right in if you don't have bacon, and bacon is expensive. Boy, I don't know if you saw my story on Facebook. I was at the grocery store today. I was looking for a can of diced tomatoes. I was looking for Rotel so I could actually show you what it looked like. They didn't have any, but if you can believe, go check out my story. 398 milliliters, which is like a cup and a half of tomatoes, was over $7. Are you serious? Over $7 for a cup and a half of tomatoes? Did you can tomatoes this year? Anyway, so if you want to add extra, so you got lots of flavor, have at her. We'll give this a mix. We'll throw in our real bacon, because I know with all the guys there, the more bacon you have, the better it'll be. We'll drop that in. I'll leave a little bit on the top for topping. We'll mix this up. I've got the oven set at 350 degrees. I like having the big chunks. And all you're gonna do is serve this with, I don't know, you could do taco chips. You could have some sort of pita chips. I know I've seen some naan. So anything that you can scoop this up with. But I do like having the chunks. So we'll put that in the oven. Make sure we clean that up. There we go. So there we have it. Oven 350 degrees. We'll set that in for 10 to 15 minutes. The last thing that we're going to do, and I'm not going to keep you on here while you're waiting, but we will be chopping up, because if we're going to have any cheeseburger, we definitely have to have pickles. So go grab some pickles, about 3 or 4 of them. If you have little small pickles, you might want to have more. And this is just to give you some nice color on the top, so it looks really delicious. Of course, it's going to look great coming out of there, because we're going to have that nice browning of the cheese. Of course, we've got a little bit of green onion that we can add on. If you don't have green onion, you could put red onion on top. If your red onion, just one more thought, if your red onion is quite zippy, feel free to just rinse it in a little bit of water. So that's how we're going to top it. That is my cooking class for today. As I mentioned, I'm going to tell you about this recipe card. So these recipe cards can be found every month in our Epic box. And I believe, Bernice, did you get your Epic box this month? crazy expensive groceries, yes. So the Epic box, this is what happens. It's a subscription box, and every month you can get surprised. Just like me, they ship you a box of unknown product. Oh, some of the best things that maybe you wouldn't try because you're like, but here was what was in our box this week, or this month, I should say. Chocolate caramel macchiato sweet dip. Oh my goodness, yes, I'm making this for my party. I have tasted this. If you haven't tried this yet, this is really good with pretzels or fruit. So I'm definitely making this, and all it takes is a couple ingredients, the package, cream cheese, and a little bit of whipping cream. And you will have this decadent, delicious, sweet thing. We've got our pizza dip, which was with us for a short period of time and then left. But if you wanted it, you needed to have this Epic subscription because it is available in there. We have the Italian meatballs, and I love this. Italian meatballs, if you don't know, they always put cheese in their meatballs, which makes it really moist, yum. Crispy, crunchy coating, much better than panko breadcrumbs, way, way better. Our best ever chili, and as I said, my meat separator disappeared because this is what was the exclusive item. I have never seen this in our product line ever before. It's one of the premier reasons why I always get an Epic Box subscription, because they always put an exclusive in there that either is not available or is brand spanking new. And it's usually, as you can see, the very first one I ever make because I want to know how it tastes. And it was delicious. Different than Cincinnati chili, different than mixing chili by yourself. It is so yum. We have a seasoning mix, which is our buffalo seasoning mix, which would be perfect for a great cup. Put this on and do wings. Oh my gosh. And then our brand new gluten-free, first time this came out was in the fall. It's never been within our product line before, but this is our sugar cookies. So stay tuned. I'm going to be making some of these, maybe if I can get my act together for the weekend. And I do want to let you know that this is the gift that keeps giving. Every time you purchase a box, the equivalent of 7 meals in dollars actually go to food banks in Canada or the United States, wherever you happen to be living and buying this box. I love it, and this is the season to help others. So anyway, enjoy everyone. I will post a picture of what this looks like in probably about 10 minutes. That'll give me a chance to set it up. But thank you very much for popping into the cooking class today. I hope you'll come back again next Thursday. I will be going live, and I don't know what I'm going to be making, but if you have any special requests, please let me know. And on that note, please cheer for my team, Winnipeg Blue Bombers. We're on our way in, and we certainly hope that we're going to have a fun time. Take care, everyone. Appreciate you being here, and bye for now.